afternoon. It's Thursday, July 10th. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left while it's still legal. I believe it's still legal. We ask this question every time. Because one day it might not be. We keep going down this road. A lot going on as usual. Remember I told you they're trying to cook up this case against Abrego Garcia, right? Rather than just admit that they made a mistake, they went and found a bunch of guys in federal prison to make up a story, that he's a human trafficker and he's done all these things. Well, there's lots of holes in this story, and it's not really working out for him. So what are they going to do now? They're going to try to deport him before the trial. Because they know if they go to trial, people are going to find out that they're lying. These people what you need to understand is they're evil. They're also stupid. What's up, Christoph? And very incompetent. So they trying to do this evil shit, but in like the dumbest ways possible. It's like but the pattern is always the same. Do something, get caught, deny it, make up another story, try to cover it up. Do whatever you got to do, lie, but never admit. It's the Trump mantra: never admit fault or failure, or never admit that you did something wrong, or that you broke the law intentionally, which they do all the time. So what happened today as well is a judge put another stop on his birthright citizenship order because remember the Supreme Court said, well, district judges, they can't put a nationwide injunction on just one person or whatever. It's got to be a class action. So the ACLU filed a class action on behalf of all pregnant women in the United States who are subject to, naturalized citizens or anybody really is about to have a baby. It's class action with all those people. It said it will do irreparable harm to your baby if it's born and they strip it of citizenship because basically now your baby is stateless. Which is a violation of international law, if that means anything. When we've already been over that, international law is pretty much a fucking joke. They never enforce it. They never. I don't even know why it's there. It's like, I guess to shake your finger, it's like, you just broke international law. It's like, well, that doesn't really do anything. And people just continue to do it. So, but it is, to make someone stateless is a violation of international law. So judge accepted that argument, accepted the class action, and then put an injunction on his order, which is blatantly unconstitutional, which we all know, on the face of it. But the Supreme Court punted the situation and left it open to interpretation because they're trying everything they can do to help Trump. But in this situation, they should clearly, like I said, if something is unconstitutional, why should it be allowed to stand for one day? It shouldn't. Not one day. It shouldn't be allowed to be in effect until it's adjudicated fully and judged whether it's constitutional or not constitutional. It should not be alive at all. It should not move forward. It should be just an idea that's in the court or whatever, Because you got to think about the reality of the situation. You're talking about people who are, like, we already discussed this before. So, let's say some states accept it, some states don't. So you have to run to another state to have it. And if your baby's born in, let's say, Mississippi, then they say it's not a citizen. And then what happens to your baby? It's like, well, where is it a citizen of? Like, it's what we said. It's a stateless baby. A person with no citizenship, with no home, stranger, and every land is strange because none of them are there. You can't have it. It's an unconscionable situation. It should never occur. Sorry, I forgot to turn it off. It should never occur. But yet the Supreme Court found it. They're gonna let this ride. That's how you're gonna let this ride. Really, all they really want to do is take away the power of the district courts to stop Trump. But because this situation is so complicated, what they did was they opened up a Pandora box of unintended, like I said, consequences. So it's a good thing that this judge put this order on. But we're learning a lot about these people, aren't we? It's like I said before. Their whole philosophy is bullshit, right? From the very beginning, right? The idea that all immigrants are murderers and rapists and criminals and they eat cats and dogs and they're a threat and there's an invasion and it's all bullshit. So in order to keep the bullshit going, they got to keep shoveling more bullshit, like. Because you're like, this is bullshit. They go, oh well, this is, and they shovel some over here. Look at this. Like what they're doing now. Like they said, oh, all of a sudden, for years and years and years, selling this idea that there's an Epstein client list, and like I said, that Biden's probably on it, and Bill Clinton, and all these Democrats, and blah blah blah. It's just like a Pizzagate, and then they have the power now. They have the files, and now they're like, "There's nothing here." Yeah, but you said there was something there for years and years, and it just like I said, a couple weeks ago, bitch said it was on her desk. So what was on the desk? I don't know. Wasn't that? I guess that's what they say. Anyway, so the mega's all mad, right? Rightfully so. They've been lied to for years and years. For them to just be figuring it out now is like, it's pretty hilarious on his face. Alice Jones is crying and shit. But man, Alice Jones is a fucking liar himself. That's what I'm saying. They're all liars. They're all full of shit. All of them. There's not one. I believe that, and you might not like me for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's probably because I believe it to be true. Of all those people, Tucker Carlson is probably the most factually honest. I mean, he twists and turns things, but he's not a complete bullshitter like the rest of them. He just has horrible views and is a fascist, really. I mean, that's his views, but when it comes to journalism and he's comes from that school, so he's not like Tim Pool and Benny Johnson that just make up a bunch of shit, all day long and take their marching order from some fax machine every morning that tells them what to fucking say, and they get up and say it. Because if you watch the right-wing machine, that's what they do. They all speak in lockstep. They all somehow have the same idea at the same time. Hundreds of them. And they all have microphones somewhere. The Charlie Kirks and the Matt Walsh and the Tim Pool and the Benny Johnson and the Will Kane and the Tucker kind of is always kind of done his own thing. And I'm not sticking up for Tucker Carlson at all. I hate that fucker, and I always have. From the days he used to wear a little bow tie and host Crossfire on CNN. I hated him then. That's a fact. Sometimes I can't believe he's still around. He's basic. I mean, he might as well just become a Russian citizen, because that's what he's been doing for the last 20 years. Since he got fired from Fox, even worse. He's been, I say, attached himself to the Putin nuts. I'm sure Putin gave him some money. It's like, well, you help us, so I'll give you some money. I never heard of it. I mean, I've never looked into it really. His finances, where his money comes from. But since he got fired from Fox News, he went over to Russia. He was like doing stories over there about how great it is over there. Like it's like he said he might as well have been. He's one step away from treason. You know what I mean? Like I mean, in my opinion. But for some reason, the right has decided that Russia wasn't the enemy for a while, and then now Trump is like coming back around to, only took him, 70 years or however old he is to figure out, like, hey, these guys aren't really our friends. Look, the last couple weeks he's been like, hey, Putin's full of shit, and he's like, yes, just like everybody's trying to tell you, he's not our friend. He wanted Trump to be the president so Trump would destroy the country, which he's doing. He's doing his work for him. Whether or not it's a paid job, I don't know, but I'm saying it's in Putin's interest to have a moron like that in charge of the United States. There's a reason why he didn't want Hillary Clinton to be the president. Because Hillary was smart, and also I think he thought, and I did too, kind of, like that Hillary would have had a hair trigger because she had to prove she was tough. She was a woman, So she wasn't going to take no shit from nobody. And if somebody did something, she's going to fucking, she's going to do something to prove to people that, a woman president can be strong. And whether or not that's right is inconsequential. I believe that to be the case, and I believe that's what Putin was afraid of. Yes, John, the top moron. It's even worse than you think. I mean, every day that you watch this stuff, like I said, like they're trying to cook up this case against Abrego Garcia. It's not working out for them very well because the case is bullshit. They don't have any evidence except for the anecdotal stories of these 6 guys that they gave early release to from prison to testify against them. They cooked up the case. It's a made-up story. The judge they ain't even started the trial. The judge is already like, I don't believe this story. It's like, there's no way that he could make 1,000 trips to Houston and back in 6 months. I'm a comedian, and I've driven a lot of miles all over the country, and like, that's a lot. Even I'm like, man, that's a lot of driving. 100 hours a week of just driving. Back and forth and back and forth. With this kid with... That's what they're trying to say. It's a ridiculous story. So anyway, so they know this. So now they're trying to deport him before there is a trial. And they get rid of him, and so, so that it doesn't come out, and also so that he can't tell what happened to the CCOT prison. Now, I don't know, I didn't look at it, but they filed that thing where he said what happened to him in the CCOT prison. And then on my phone, I got a Fox News alert. And, it's just a little blurb. It tells you what the story is. And it said that the El Salvador president, claps back at Garcia and with some supposed video evidence, which has not been shown on any other. I was like, I'm not going to look at this. If there's something to it, it'll appear on CNN or on MSNBC or some other network, ABC, Reuters. I watch all this fucking news. BBC. So, if there's something to this story, it'll come up somewhere else. Otherwise, it's just Fox News trying to, like they always do, trying to cover up for fucking Trump. So, because Fox News is not a news channel. I'm so tired of arguing with my mom. It's just, you can't stop turning it on like it's like a drug. Then that's how you see that it fucking works. And she looks at Fox News and like it's a news. I keep telling her, this is not news, Mom. It's propaganda. Especially when she watches. She don't watch it till the afternoon when Will Kane comes on, and then the five jerk-offs. Well, 4 jerk-offs and a soft-ass Democrat. So they can try to pretend that they're letting the other point of view talk. Although that Tarloff chick that's on there, she's pretty good, but she still just lets them blatantly lie about all kinds of shit. Listen to this. This is true. And I got so angry, and my mom was like, "Why are you so angry?" Because I was like, she turns on the 5, right? And Gutfeld is talking. And Gutfeld is talking about, these crazy people that lit off fireworks and then shot at the ice or whatever. And he's like, the leftists are the ones that are violent. They're always violent and this and that and the other. And he did not mention, and the Democrat lady or whoever was representing the left point of view sitting at the table did not even mention, like, hey man, you guys just assassinated a fucking congressman last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. You're going to tell us that it's always the left that's violent? Go and fuck yourself all the way up the ass, bro. Fuck you. And then sit there and let him say that and not fucking bring that up is a crime, if you ask me. And that's why I hate those fucking shows. They got a left guy there. It's like Henry Ford. He's just sitting there fucking, and he kisses their asses like he's just glad to be there getting a paycheck. He ain't there to argue or fight with these people. Yes, Lawrence O'Donnell. Well, Lawrence O'Donnell is one of the ballsiest motherfuckers on TV, really. Like, his show is fire. He don't fuck around. He gets angry and shit. It's like, this guy's really mad. Like, it's like, you need that. That's why I started this show. There's not enough shows. And the people they do have are meek. They're fucking meek. Well, I can't watch John what? Not Lawrence O'Donnell, right? You can't watch Fox. That's what I said. I can't watch Fox for 5 fucking minutes. My head wants to fucking... my veins start popping in my forehead. And my mom's like, what's wrong with you? It's like, turn that fucking shit off. It's like, I can't listen to Greg Gutfeld or Jesse Waters' voice for more than like 30 seconds before I want to choke somebody, you know. I get a visceral reaction. It's like, if I could get my hands on his scrawny ass neck, like, I would do it. It's like, I'm going to be able to stop myself and I get it. Either he's going out or I'm getting arrested. Either way, I'm going to get arrested. It's only a matter of did they get to me before I finish the job. Especially Jesse Waters. I mean, both of them. Both of them are like, who the fuck are you? Where did you even come from? They just like popped out of a box. Like, I'm an asshole with a lot of opinions. It's like, yeah, but who are you? Where the fuck did you come from? Jesse Waters just sucking at Tucker Carlson's teeth. And then when Tucker Carlson got fired, they were like, we need someone to get out there. And they just push him out there. We gotta fill this spot. You're a pathetic nutlicker. Get out there and think you want your own show. That we're looking for the most pathetic of nutlickers. He's like, well, that would be me. Same as Gutfeld. Gutfeld's like looking at the paper. Oh, look, it says here they need a real jerk-off asshole. Fuck, that's the job for me. He goes down there, he's like, I saw in the paper, you're looking for a jerk-off asshole. Hey, I'm your man. He used to write for Men's Health, and I always wondered what happened. Like, why does he write for Men's Health? He probably got rid of him when they figured out he's a Nazi. It's like, oh. Yeah. Greg was in the gym, and he left this in his locker. It's like a Nazi flag. Sorry, Greg, you can't write for Men's Health anymore. Like, we don't want Nazis around here. And then he's all mad. God damn it, fuck it. He went to Fox. He said, I just got fired for being a Nazi. They're suppressing my free speech. I'm like, who is this asshole? We need to give him a show. Call it a comedy show. Can you believe that? Because they put it on at the same time as Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel and all that to try to compete with them. And he's done well, and I mean, but Fox has a built-in audience. It's not like that audience came to him. Fox just creates these people, and their audience is just there. They just need to fill the time because most of them are medicated in a nursing home or they're just staring at the TV. And you can't have an empty chair, so they put these assholes in the chair. And so Gutfeld comes on at 11 o'clock at night or something on Fox News. Who do you think's fucking watching that? They said it's a bunch of old people. And they say, oh, because it's on at that time, they call it a comedy show. Like, it's not a comedy show, bro. It's not funny in any way. No, it's a comedy show. And then we had big ratings and said, oh, he's got the #1 comedy show in the United States. You're like, it's not comedy, bro. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, what don't you mean? That's what right-wing shit is. What's right-wing comedy? Being an asshole. It's like, can you say some like offensive shit, be an asshole? Yeah, well, yes, for sure. Here's Tony Hinchcliffe. He's like, Puerto Rico's a garbage island of garbage. You're like, how is that funny? It's not funny. It's just something assholish to say that's controversial. And they go, if you don't laugh at that, you don't have such a humor. It's like, no, you're just a dick. Being a dick isn't funny, except to other dicks. That's why I finally checked out of the whole, oh, you got to try to ride the line so that you don't alienate, certain parts of the population. Fuck certain parts of the population. It's like, I ain't for everybody. I finally come to grips with that. I ain't for everybody. Just like, they're not for everybody either. They zoom in on their niche and they capitalize on it. I don't care if people watch because they hate me. That's good. It's still numbers. And you can hate me all you want. Start commenting. I want someone to hate me. Because like I said, that's when this show will get interesting. More interesting than making it about myself. I got a hater. I said I got some haters on Instagram for these little reels that I've been cutting out of these shows. It's like, it's fucking wonderful. It's like, well, I told him, it's like, well, it's like, what haters mean that you're doing something. I pushed your button, didn't I? Who's triggered now, you fucking, snowflake, what they call it? That's what they like to call people. Snowflake. Easily triggered. They always say, when I easily triggered, like you snowflakes. And then Mom Donnie is won the Democratic primary. Ah! And they freak the fuck out. Like, seems like you get triggered at the quickest thing. Remember when they were burning, they used to burn shit? I can't remember what they were burning. They boycott the products at the slightest provocation. Like, and the Bud Light thing, like, oh, the Bud Light. They had one internet ad with the trans person. I'll never drink it again. It's like, they acted like Bud Light was trying to bombard you, like come to your house and personally offer to cut your dick off. It was one internet ad. They were trying to target the transgender, market. I mean, now whether or not that was smart is another fucking conversation to have. But like to act like that, to be like, ah, it's and be like, we're not easily triggered. Like, yo, seems like you are. Because you be freaking out about the littlest things. You're like, oh, a Little Mermaid's black. Oh my God. It's like, they made the movie 25 times. They were white every time. You know, like one time they go, hey, let's mix it up. Put a black person in there. What? It's woke. You know, or whatever they say. You know, it's like, what? Maybe it's just what they were like. Hey, maybe some little black girls would like to see some representation. You know, like, that's the thing is. They have to make every little thing seem like it's the end of civilization, as you know it. To keep you distracted from their incompetence and their terrible ideas. While you're yelling about all this stuff, they just passed this bill to cut your Medicare and shit. While you're arguing about this stuff, it took them 3 days to send a FEMA down there to the flood because the Doge cuts and the stupid rule now that dog killer has to sign off on every little paper or every little thing that the organization does. Anything over 100,000, she's got to personally sign off on. So they lined up all this stuff to go down to help the flood, and they were like, "Oh no, this is it's way more than 100,000." They're like, "We'll get out and find the dog killer." It took them 2 days to find her to sign off on it. Meanwhile, people are dying. And they tell you, oh, we're trying to make the government more efficient. Really? Because I'm pretty sure before it worked okay. Like, it didn't take 3 days for them to get down. I mean, but that's not really true because George Bush fucked up the Hurricane Katrina thing. If you remember that. I mean, and again, who did it? Republicans. And this thing in Texas, there ain't a Democrat involved. I said this the other day. Like, from the very top, Trump, all the way down to the mayor of those towns, they're all Republicans. All the sheriffs in Texas, all the fucking, they're Republicans. So, you don't try to blame this on Democrat. There ain't a Democrat in sight. It's like it's all them. And people keep voting for these people. Yeah, well, you know, I might have lost half my family in the flood, but that guy's not a communist, you know. Like, that's how bad propaganda works on people. This guy, Mamdani, they're fucking scared to death of this guy. He's not even he's a socialist like Bernie. But you're like, oh my God, he's a communist. He's throwing out ideas that they're like, oh no, what? He was like, maybe some of these people that live, you know, in these places where there ain't no food, maybe the city should set up a grocery store so they have access to get food. What? He's a communist. It's like, he didn't say like, oh, the New York City's gonna take over all the key foods and all the every grocery. We're gonna take over the grocery industry in the city of New York. Like, no, he just said maybe the city could set up some little grocery stores in these places where they don't have access to food, so people could buy food. And the people in this country are like, oh my God, he's Joseph Stalin. It's like, it's so fucking stupid. And so, like I said, it shows you how the American machine has brainwashed everybody into being like, you know, if the government does anything for you to help you at all, that's socialism and communism, and that makes you like a leech and a scumbag, you know. And when the reality of the situation is, not everybody can be a millionaire or a billionaire. Not everybody's gonna do that, you know. There's not enough. It's physically impossible in the real world. Like, everybody has a place, you know. in the machine, whatever you want to call it. And you can work your way up, but I'm saying not everybody can do that. It's impossible, especially the way they've shut down access to. It's harder and harder to start a small business unless it's a tech business. You can't just start up a hardware store like you used to be able to. Because there's Lowe's and Home Depot and all these places that fucking, Walmart. You can't outsell them or cut your price to, it's impossible. These big corporations, they own everything now. And that's what they don't like about Mom Donnie's idea. Like, what? He can't sell stuff to the poor people because we need to get their money. But it's like, yeah, but they live 20 miles away from your store and it's hard for them to get there. Well, you can't. What? It's a competition. Whereas if corporations really cared about people, they would take some of their profits and they would build stores in places like that, and knowing that those stores probably wouldn't make lots of money, but they're there to help the community. But they don't give two fucks about helping the community or helping people out. They'll let people fucking starve to death before they let this guy fucking open up a basically a food bank for people, but not a food bank, but like a store where they could have access to food and probably not, jack up the prices. Because I wouldn't think that he would be trying to make a for-profit business out of it. It's more like I said, like the government doing something to help the people. They said, communism! It's a Stalin, but in reality, it's even sillier, that whole argument now, because if you look around, tell me the communist country that's around, really. Still. Russia's not communist anymore. I mean, they're fascists, basically, but they're not communist like it's an oligarchy. It's the state itself doesn't own the production and all that stuff like they used to in Stalin days. And China is kind of the same way. It's a hybrid communism, and like they bred it. It's capitalist too, because like I said before, capitalism, the idea of it, is the best system for business that they've come up with. Like that everybody's the theories of it. It's a free market and everybody can sell stuff, and individuals can work hard and they can get ahead, or whatever. And that was the case back in the day. More than it is now. I mean, we've been through this situation several times where, like, the rich people hoarded up everything, and then they broke it all up. They said, hey, you gotta sell off these companies, they're too big, and got to split up the ownership, and and they make little tweaks here and there so that the market can become freer again. But then what happens is they just learn how to game whatever rules they made then, and then the big companies just keep coming back and buying up everything, and got to buy up all the competition, so there ain't no competition. It's like we're to the point where we were almost a minute ago, which I can't believe that Trump hasn't turned back on the Kroger-Albertson merger. But the Kroger-Albertson merger is basically like, they're going to own the grocery business, except for, little satellites. Like Publix is big enough now that they're kind of there. But if Kroger's and Albertsons were to join forces, they're immediately 3 times bigger than Publix. And Publix is relegated to be. That's why Publix was fighting that shit too. They're like, no, you can't let that happen. Because Kroger is evil. You don't know that thing. It's like their whole entire mission is to take over the grocery business, and if it was up to them, they would kill everybody and take it. That ain't no shit. That's how ruthless they are. This is the true story. There's still a place in Cincinnati called Meyer, which is they don't have a lot of stores. I don't have to look it up, but exactly, John. They're not communist. The truth is, there's never really been a true communist country in the way it's written on paper. You know, like a Marxist society. It always turns to a dictatorship because it's like, oh, this one guy's in charge, and there's a central committee, but the central committee are all nutlickers that are surrounding this guy. So the guy just takes over. And so Lenin and then Lenin died, and Stalin was like, I'm taking over, and everyone was scared of him, so they said, okay. Because Stalin's a violent son of a bitch. Anyway, this is a true story. So, there's a place called Myers. I said I don't know how many stores they have, but they do well enough. The family that owns Myers is rich, I'm sure. They own several stores. And Kroger's can't stand. Like Kroger's, they went out around, they bought out the IGAs. They put Thriftway out of business. All the smaller chains that were operated in this region, Kroger's put out of business. But not Myers. They couldn't get rid of Myers. So Kroger's tried to buy Myers. They were like, hey, we'll just why don't you just let us buy up your company? And the Meyer family was like, no, we're not selling. So Kroger's, I can't remember where it is. It's in Hyde Park over here. Oakley, technically. And there was a Myers there. And when Myers said that they wouldn't sell to Kroger's was like, okay. So they bought all the land directly behind the Myers in Oakley. And they built a huge, giant super Kroger right there with a gas station and a whole strip mall and the super Kroger that sells clothes and things, because that's what Myers is too. They sell groceries and they sell clothes and stuff. And so Kroger's been a super Kroger there, but so close to the Myers that if you opened up the back door of the Myers, you're just looking at a brick wall. Kroger is used to that for spite, because that's what Kroger that's what Kroger is. They're fucking evil. They're like, okay, you want to sell to us? All right, then we'll try to slowly bleed you dry and build this fucking store right outside your front door. I swear to God, it's not 50 feet apart. There's like a little alley in the back where the trucks would go. And Kroger's built their store right on the other side of the alley. So basically now it's just an alley with... It's a real alley now. It was just a little access road. And Kroger's turned it into an alley. Which I'm sure fucked up their delivery system too, because those trucks used to go to the back of the building. Well, now they can't go there because they get stuck in between them two buildings. Just Kroger's. That's it. They're evil, bro. What you call ruthless. That's why they all love Donald Trump. I don't know if you saw this. Trump specifically threatened Brazil. I don't know if you remember that Brazil had a Trump. And then he lost the election, and then he tried to overthrow the government like Trump did on January 6th here. Right? But instead of getting away with it like Trump did here, they're trying to put him on trial for it. So Trump wrote a letter to Brazil. It's like, you're going to pay 50% tariff if you don't shut down this trial right now. You know what that means, right? It means the coffee and shit that you drink, everything that you drink, he's going to raise the price of that to try to free his friend from going to jail. But he's America first. It's never America first. It's Trump first. Trump doesn't give a fuck about you or me or anybody. Trump cares about Trump, and that's it. Basically, like I said, he's saying he's going to put a 50% tariff on all stuff from Brazil. Which, like I said, is coffee and stuff people need, and you can't make it here. You can't make Brazilian coffee. We can't grow coffee. We have to import our coffee. So even a 50% tariff on it, you can be paying a lot more. Or you won't have Brazilian coffee, which is one of the best kinds. Either way, you're going to get fucked so that Trump can save his criminal buddy from going to jail. I've never seen anything like this. He's like a mobster. He's like shaking him down. He's like, hey, you don't let my friend out of jail. I'm going to raise up the tariff 50%, fuck you up. But the Brazilian guy, he ain't taking no shit. He said, okay, they'll reciprocate. Yes, John, Starbucks be $30 a cup. But thank God he's fucking getting that guy out of trouble. Have you noticed that? Some of these countries had a problem like we had, right? South Korea had the same problem. The guy tried to declare martial law and lock down the country. They threw him out that day. And then he got arrested. Then they let him out. Well, they just arrested him again. They put him back in jail. This guy in Brazil, he tried to do the Trump. He lost the election. He said, I really won. And then he tried to overrun the federal buildings and do a coup, basically. And now they're prosecuting him. Trump did all that shit. And then we didn't do shit. We let him get away with it. Now, I've been saying for a long time. He wound up, just slinking away and then getting reelected or whatever. But that's the signal for anybody else in the future. What are you going to do? There is no downside to trying it because we ain't going to do nothing to you. As a matter of fact, those people that did that went to prison. They all got pardoned, and now they work for ICE. They got jobs. Why do you think they wear masks? That's why they wear masks. Because if they take their masks off, people go, hey, that guy was January 6th. Hey, wait, that guy was January 6th. All these guys were January 6th. Is it a coincidence? No. They're loyalists. And that's what the Nazis want. Blind, fanatical loyalists. Now, John, I don't think there's... I'm pretty sure everybody's figured out how fucking stupid we are. That's why I said yesterday, last show, the rest of the world is like, this place is falling apart. They're stepping back. We'll step back. Something's brewing, I don't know what. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a rough 3.5 years, It could not be that bad. It could be horrible, Be a bunch of civil unrest and civil, breakdown, who knows? The dollar is, that's what no one's talking about. The dollar is collapsing right in front of your eyes. And no one's really talking about that. And now there's tariffs about to come back on. See, the tariff thing that he said in the beginning, it never really came on because he put a pause on, 90-day pause. We're 90 deals in 90 days, whatever. I mean, he never got no deals. And now he's like, August 1st, coming on, the tariffs. And he's not going to stop this time because everyone called him Taco. He's not gonna take that. He's going to turn the tariffs on. Today is 50% copper. He's about to 200% pharmaceutical tariff. It's like he wants to kill everybody. It's like a guy who's driving and it says road closed. He just drives by the side and they're like, hey man, that sign said road's closed. And he's like, we're going, And it says bridge out. Hey man, the sign says bridge out. We're going. Fake news. He's just driving the car right off the fucking bridge. And nobody's stopping him. Like I said, the Congress could stop him today, tomorrow. They have the authority. They could stop him, but they're not going to. It's just like I said before. They live in an invented. This guy, I can't remember his name. He's the dumbest. I thought Tommy Tuberville was the dumbest person he's in the Senate. But I thought he was the dumbest person in the Congress, either branch. But this guy from Tennessee, his name might be Burchett or something like that. He's the dumbest fucking mother. I've never seen a person this fucking stupid. I don't know how he got. I mean, it's Tennessee, so I guess I can see how he got elected. But he fucking when they asked him about the Epstein list, he said, "Oh, well, I believe there was the Epstein list, but it was destroyed by Biden." What tells you everything you need to know about these people. If they're just make up something. And like Mars, she keeps going on about how the weather is controlled. It's a controlled weather. let alone the motive why people would want to create a super giant storm that floods, half of Texas and kills all these people. They never say why they would do that. They just say, they're manipulating the weather. For what? What's the reason? What's the purpose? She was like, with the fires, remember, she was like, it's Jewish space lasers. You're like, this is how far they'll go to not admit that there's a climate change, because they've been saying all these years that climate change is a hoax and a myth. And I thought for sure that when this stuff really started happening, that people would go, oh my God, I guess we were wrong. We need to do something about this. But no, they're not going to. Trump wants to burn more coal. And they want to get rid of the National Weather Service because the National Weather Service keeps telling people that climate change is happening, and they're like, it's woke. It's political. It's not political. You made it political. That's the problem, is they made everything political. Everything. Masks, vaccines, health, science, weather. It's all political now. When these things aren't political. It's like, you want to die or you not want to die? That's not political. That's not Republican or Democrat. You want to live, right? Everybody wants to live. There are certain things we should be able to agree on. But we're not allowed to do that anymore. We must be diametrically opposed at all times on every issue. That's how they keep their game going. That's how you won't notice, like I said, all the horrible fucking things that they really do. I don't know, John, if you see that pictures, that there ain't nothing could stop that, I don't think. It was one of the craziest things I ever seen. They had a camera on a bridge, and the river just looked normal, and all of a sudden, around the corner just came just giant wall of water with fucking trees and shit in it. It was fucking. I never seen nothing like it. It was like, in like 30 seconds, the water was all the way up to the fucking bridge and like rushing underneath and shit. You're like, dude. Even if I was standing on that bridge, I mean, like, you're lucky the whole thing didn't wash off. I never seen anything like it, and I seen a lot of crazy shit. I mean, I seen a tornado here when I was like 6. There was a huge tornado that tore through Fort Thomas, and I saw that up close. And then I seen a couple hurricanes. I lived in Florida, and I never seen anything like that. I said it was like a 30-foot wall of water with trees and all kinds of debris in it, and it was just. You're like, holy shit, man! Like, that's some apocalyptic shit. And then of course people start with the pray and shit. It's like, oh please, Jesus saved us, God saved us. It's like, did God make the flood, or did God save you from the flood? Like, did He save you from the flood that He made? I mean, how does this work? It doesn't make any logical sense. That's how you fall into Trumpism, is with those kind of, you know. It's like, I only see the good things he does. I mean, if he can't be responsible for everything and nothing at the same time, but he can, because Trump can too. Like, that's what I'm saying. Is like, that's how you mentally get fucked, to trick yourself into believing this bullshit. Like, yeah, it's Trump. Trump loves me. It's like, no, he doesn't. The guy's out golfing. All these people died. Shit, he's out golfing. He's like, I ought to go on Friday and visit. Like, he doesn't give two shits. If you see him now, I mean, I really think that it's wearing on him already. He's only been president for 6 months, and you can just see it. And like, he really doesn't know what he's doing, and he's gotten rid of all the people who did, and now he's just surrounded by a bunch of incompetent fucking nut-licking yes men, and the whole thing is falling apart. and he knows it, I think, deep down inside. But he's comes from that school of he's just gonna keep plowing, you know. He's just gonna keep making shit up and keep denying that he's responsible for anything, and you know. And but the truth is, it's out of control, and he knows it. It's like Hegseth stopped the Ukraine weapons. He didn't even know. If you had to find out from CNN or something, and he's like, oh, what? And he turned it back on, but Hegseth made a decision without telling him. What does that tell you? People are like, oh, Trump is in charge. Is he? Is he? Because Tom Tillis was saying that when Trump's not around, there's other people try to act like they're Trump. Which I'm sure is Stephen Miller. He wouldn't say who it was, but I'm sure it's Stephen Miller. He's like, I'm really the president. He's trying to tell these senators, you know, what's up, and they're like, shut the fuck up. You know, it's unbelievable what we have turned ourselves into. It's like I said, it's a reality show, but you can't run a country as a reality show. It's just going from one fucking mega disaster to another, you know. Like today, you know what they said today? Israel said, oh, turns out that uranium wasn't destroyed. No, it wasn't obliterated. The uranium survived the attack. Same everyone said it did. They've already moved on to a bunch of other shit. Try and make you forget that, but it's a like I said, you can't just drop 4 bombs on it and go, all right, that problem solved. It's not that simple. I wish it was. I'm sure everybody wish it was. It would have been Vietnam or Korea and all this other shit. They didn't learn a goddamn thing from Iraq, Afghanistan. You cannot bomb your way out of a problem. You can't do it. People go, how do you get peace in this world? How about you feed people? How about you take care of people? How about you make an incentive for people not to kill their own people? You know, like it's like this. There's lots of things you can do that we just never tried them. Or they weren't trying it with the U.S. aid, but then Trump just took all that away, you know. You have no idea how much stuff was prevented. It never happened because of U.S. aid and taking care of people, you know, because when people aren't starving, they don't try to start killing each other, you know. When people are desperate, that's when things happen. You put people in a corner, or, you know, you live in a country that has limited resources, right? So one group's going to say, we're going to take all the resources and fuck those people, and the other people starve to death or whatever. That's what happens. U.S. aid was help prevent that kind of shit by feeding everybody. Well, that's gone now. You're going to start seeing fires pop up all over the place. I hate to always be predicting the future on this show. And I hope that the things that I say don't come true, because it's bleak, but they don't understand the consequences of actions. Like now, like COVID's coming back. You know that, right? It's spreading around again. People are like, you know, hey, put your mask on. Fuck you! It's just like, it's a simple thing to try to keep. Nope, we got measles back. We're going all the way. Matter of fact, we're going to take away your kids' vaccines. Good luck. Like I said, it's almost like they want a bunch of people to die. And if you think about it, really, it sounds horrible to say it, but it's true. The disproportionate number of people who were affected by cutting U.S. aid, people who will starve and die, are not white. It's all about changing the demographics of the country and the world if they can. To put the white people back in charge. I believe that to be the case, as bad as it sounds. If it was white people to be affected by that, they wouldn't have cut it off. If USA was going to, say, Ireland or, you know, South Africa. Went to South Africa, he was like, just come over here. Because we're trying to get as many white people as we can. We're getting rid of the brown people as fast as we can, you know, because they want to change the demographics. Make no mistake, that's the bottom line of Trumpism and the Project 2025 and all that. That's the bottom line of it all. Is to get, because as well as all these cuts and programs is like disproportionately will affect minorities. They know this. Some rural white people will be sacrificed for the greater good. Because they're the poor anyway. That's what the poor white people never understood, is that they don't care about you. Being white just keeps you from getting harassed, but they don't get 2 fucks about you and your life. You know, it's not like, oh, yeah, you're white, so we push you up to, no. They shit on you and use you just like they use them. You're not part of the elite class, you know, or whatever. But white people never understood that. That's how they've managed to get this power, because they convinced the poor white people that they care about them. You know, and they go, "Yeah, he cares about me with this private jet, this fucking $5,000 suit." They don't care about you at all. They just cut all your Medicare, give themselves a tax break. Do you think they fucking care about you? Your grandma, your mother, or somebody. I'm worried about my mom. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, she's on a Medicare. Is they gonna cut her off? I mean, I don't know. She don't seem too worried about it, so I'm not gonna scare her by talking about it. But I think about it. It's like, what happens if they cut her off? She's got boxes of medicine, and he's about to put 200% tariff on medicine. Like, what happens then? There's so many things that people don't consider. Like, these things are going to affect your life. They haven't yet. It's only been 6 months.
Welcome to All Tech Land.
These things are going to affect your life soon. And it's going to be... people might wake up then, but probably not. They'll be like, well, at least we own the liberals. Because that's a lot of them only care about that. They burn down their own house to own some libs. That's like their favorite sport. I said we're in a bad spot. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. Anyway, it's been an hour. I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I said numbers are doing well, so thank you. And I'm about to buy that plan, and we're going to fucking pop this show on about 10 different channels at the same time. So we're going to try to grow it even bigger. I mean, I've only done YouTube, and I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's working. So, so I'm going to try to put it on steroids and see what happens. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll be back Saturday at 6 o'clock. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left, while it's still legal. And it is still legal. See you on Saturday.